Hello everyone and welcome to the Back to Blighty podcast. This is the September episode. My name is Becky and I'm joining you today from the south coast of England where I live with my partner and our house rabbit Harvey. I hope you're all keeping well. Welcome if you're a new viewer. This is where I talk about all things yarn and fibre related, and welcome also if you're an old returning viewer. It's lovely that you've chosen to spend a little bit of time with me today. It's going to be quite a quick one today because I haven't got very long. I've sort of worked this morning and I've got training this afternoon and then I'm off to Morris. So yeah, it might be a bit of a quick run through, but I am so aware that if I don't do this now, today, then all of a sudden we're going to be in October. Which is lovely because don't we all love autumn with all the lovely woolly knitwear that we can show off to the world. Had a bit of a change with the hair, had it chopped. I don't know if anyone else has found this, but as I've got older I find that my hair is getting finer and yeah, and I was just scruffing it back, so I kind of just went for it and had a bit of a chop. So yeah, it's a bit different. I'm still getting used to it, but I have to say I'm quite liking not having hair around the back of my neck because sometimes I get really hot and yeah, I don't like it on the back of my neck, so I'm quite enjoying it. But we'll see. I'm still trying to get used to bothering with it in the morning. You know, what's that about? Anyway, you haven't come here to talk about my hair. You've come here to see all the knitty goodness. So I have been quite a monogamous knitter. So I have cast on a new project and finished a new project. So you haven't seen this. I haven't even talked about it at all. So but I just absolutely loved this project. So this is the Lang Ayre by Gudrun Johnson, and it's a shawl that I've had my eye on for months, maybe even years, because it is just absolutely beautiful. So I'll show you so you can see what I'm talking about. So this is my shawl. So it starts off with this triangular panel and it goes into this diamond and then another triangular panel. So you can see it is absolutely massive and I absolutely love it. Just make sure I'm in focus. So this is knit with Jameson Smith 2-ply jumper weight yarn. I changed a couple of the colours. So I switched out the purple and the teal. So there were two different colours and one of them was like a corally colour. I can't remember what the other one was. But I switched out the two colours, and the colours I switched out, I don't know which one's which, but one of them is I switched shade C, which is 141. I used that, and shade E I used 133. But I absolutely loved every single thing. Let me pop it on so I can show you. So I wanted a shawl that you could wear around your back like this to keep your back warm. And it's got this lovely detail where it just moves from the horizontal stripes, and then at the front, when you're wearing it, you get the vertical stripes, which I think is absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I've got a long brown coat, so I think this is just going to go with everything. So you can wear it like that, which I really like in the autumn and winter. I like to have something that I can wrap myself up in, but probably when I'm wearing it with my coat, I will do the usual kind of round the neck. So yeah, look at that. So pleased with this. The other amazing thing, I look like a turtle. The other amazing thing about the pattern is because obviously it is made out of Shetland wool, you spit splice all the way through. So when you finished, you only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ends to weave in. So it is all spit spliced, and you can probably see, okay, here's a good one. So you can see here, whoops, where I spit spliced, and it just goes into the next row. Yeah, but I absolutely love these colours. Gorgeous, gorgeous. So yeah, excuse me. I just didn't want to finish it. I actually kind of worked on it, and then I left it because we were going up to Yorkshire for our holiday, and yeah, I didn't want it to end, so I saved it for the long old car journey, because it takes a good 6 hours or so to get up there. And yeah, I am so pleased with this project. It's amazing. So yeah, do recommend the pattern. Really simple. So you knit the diamond first. So you knit this middle panel, and then you add on the wings on either side. And when you start the wings, you start from the bottom. And you have these sort of big block colours, and I was thinking, oh, is it going to match up? Is it going to match up? But it did match up with the stripes. So when I say match up, I mean these white ones here go all the way across, which makes me very, very happy. But yeah, absolutely love it. It's really light, but it's going to be super warm. So, and it's going to go with so many of my clothes because of all the different colours within it. This brings me joy. So recommend the pattern, recommend the yarn. I had it on my Ravelry, you know, queue for months and months and months, and eventually I just thought, you know what, I love my crystal shawl that's made out of Plutulopi, and I love that kind of woolliness, and so I wanted something, and this is just going to be perfect. I'm going to wear this to death over the autumn and winter, so very pleased with that. Okay, my next finished object, well actually I haven't got one. That's it, that's all my finished objects. So but there was a good amount of knitting in that shawl, so now I'm on my whips, and I've been working really hard on my Allison cardigan, which is a pattern by Hannah Fettig, and I am making it out of Yarnadelic in Le Fleur and the Woman in Blue. So I have practically finished it. I've just got the collar neckband to do, and this is what it's looking like. So it has these lovely pockets, which I've done in blue on the inside, and long sleeves with a lovely cuff, 1x1 rib. Just looks really nice. This yarn knits up so beautifully. I think it's Corriedale. I got the band here. I think it's 100% Corriedale. Yeah, I think it is. It feels like it. If not, I'll put it on the screen. But I'm doing really well with it. I'll pop it on so I can show you. Obviously there's some ends. I can't really show you because there's not an awful lot of room, but yeah. So here's my pocket. You can see where I need to put the band on, and then it will cover this bit. It will pull this out a little bit. And it's got some nice raglan details on there, and then the cuff. So I'm really happy with the length of the sleeves. It comes down to kind of sort of halfway down my bum. This pocket hasn't been sewn in yet, but we won't look at that. So yeah, so it fits really nicely, and once I've got that band on, I think it's about a 3-inch band, it's going to sit really nicely. The reason I haven't done the band yet is because I have been using my needles for another project, but I'm going to get on this, and I thought if I cast on the neckband and then podcast, it would all be all sort of scrunched up and you wouldn't be able to see it. So yes, I'm really happy. It's worked up really nicely, and yeah, very happy with it. I mean, this yarn is just beautiful. I mean, that is blowing out. It is actually darker, quite a bit darker. There you go, more like that. So yeah, so I need to get cracking on that. So that will be finished the next time I podcast, definitely next month. And this is the Yarnadelic. Look, here it is. Yes, it is Corriedale. It's sport weight yarn. There's the Le Fleur, and there's the Woman in Blue. So yeah, and I shall use up this blue in another project, maybe a hat or something like that. So yeah, but you can see as well, I mean, I'm sorry to go on and on about this shawl, but you can see just how things go really well with it. I mean, look at that. Perfect. But really enjoyable pattern. Really loved it. I did a slightly larger needle to get gauge, and I liked the drape of the fabric, which I think I talked about in my last episode. So that is almost finished. Let me talk to you about the project that has kind of slowed that down a little bit. So I have made a slipper, and this is part of the Wool & Wishes knit along, but I can't remember. I can't remember what they call it now. I will pop it on the screen. But yeah, I've been watching their podcast, and it's all about making something for your hands and feet. And so I thought, well, I really needed a pair of slippers. My slippers, I wear my slippers to death. I'm always putting holes in them, and they always get a bit stretched out and a bit big. So I thought, I've had this pattern in my Ravelry queue for ages, and I really wanted to make them. And I had some of this yarn, which is the Fritted Garn by Sadness Garn here, and this is in the colour 166 or 188. I mean, I've even got my glasses on and I still can't read that. It's a bit fuzzy. So I'm using this because it's a good wool for felting, and it's a good kind of sturdy wool. And I am making a pattern that I'm not even going to attempt the name of it, because, you know, I'm just going to embarrass myself, let myself down, let everyone else down. So so you can stop clutching your pearls. I'm not even going to attempt that, but I will put it on the screen. And it is a pattern by Isolde Teague, and it's these wonderful, wonderful slippers. And there's these thrums on there as well. Aren't they gorgeous? So it's hard to show you because obviously it's not on my foot, but yeah, these are my slippers. How gorgeous are these thrums? Now, I did change the pattern slightly. I'm going to pop it on my foot and see if I can model them, probably really badly, just so you can get an idea. So if I pop a hip out, send help. Okay, here we go. So, ta-da! Look at those. Yeah, love them. They fit really nicely. So they're thrummed. So if you look on the inside of the beat, you can see all these thrums that are starting to felt already, and they go all the way around the inside, around the ankle, and also on the bottom. And you can see that they're starting to felt a bit, but that doesn't bother me. Now for the thrums, I used some old wool laps that I bought from World of Wool ages and ages and ages ago, and I made a slip over. I'll pop a picture in here. I made a slip over out of these wool laps. Now, wool laps are the bit of the fibre, so when they process the fibre ready for spinning or felting, they're like the end of roll bits. So there's nothing wrong with them, but they're not as perfect. So they can't really sell them as perfect. Perfect. Brain. Yeah, stock. That's not the word I was looking for. Anyway, I had a big bag of these, and so I'm using up some of the red ones to go in that project. So the only thing that I have bought is the yarn for this. So yeah, so that's why I haven't finished my Allison cardigan, but I'm going to finish the neckband of my Allison cardigan, and then I'm going to get on with the other one. But these are brilliant, a brilliant gift knit. They're so quick because it's like, I don't know, is it a chunky, Aran chunky weight yarn, and they're so smooshy and squidgy and toasty. So yeah, I'm looking forward to wearing them. Okay, rustling out of the way. My final whip is again a new cast on. So again, it's one thing that's been in my sort of on my Ravelry favourites list for quite some time, and I am using Cookston Crafts fingering weight 4-ply. Here we go, and this is in the colour Mushroom, and this is 75/25 superwash merino nylon. and it's 425 meters in 100 grams. And I've got 2 of these, and I started making something else with it. I can't even remember what, but it didn't work out. I didn't like it, so I'm using it in a new project. But this is the colour. I mean, it's blowing out a little bit. It's a bit darker than that. It's more of a beigey, mushroomy colour, I guess. So I have cast on the Scotch Broom by Wool & Pine. And I know, it's a summer tea. We're going into autumn, and I've decided at the last minute to make something lightweight, but I have a reason for this. So what, sorry, my phone's ringing, but no one calls me on the landline, so we'll ignore it. So what I wanted is I wanted some closer fitting tops to go under things like cardigans that I can still wear in the autumn and possibly the winter. And the Scotch Broom is a really beautiful pattern. It's got this lovely lace panel across the top, and it's just boxy, short sleeves, and it will be perfect as like a layering piece. So I have done the first panel of the lace, and this is what it's looking like. Oh, so yeah, you get the idea. So this is going to be like the front, and then you do another one for the back, and then it's just stocking stitch all the way down. But I just absolutely think that this is beautiful. So pretty. It's got this lovely I-cord edge, which when you pick up, so you basically stitch them together at a place where you think is about right, so obviously covering those bra straps, and then yeah, you just stitch them together here, and then once I finish the back lace panel, it's just working in the round, and then it's done. But I think this is going to look, again, it's going to look really nice under something like my Allison cardigan. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to getting that done, and it's just beautiful. Really love it. Yeah, the only thing that worries me about lace is that I'm going to pull it. I'm the most clumsy person, so I do worry that I'm just going to like get it caught on something and yeah, just have this loop hanging. But anyway, we shall see. The other thing that I did, I spoilt myself. I got myself a steamer. Partly because I wanted to block the Allison cardigan before I did the neckband, and I was thinking, gosh, the weather's really changed here in Blighty. So we had really intense hot weather, and now it's proper autumn, and there's loads of rain. So trying to dry things this time of year indoors is really difficult because the heating's not on yet, because it's not cold enough to have the heating on, but it's not warm enough either to dry things like knitwear. So I got a steamer, and then I steamed this out as well. Love a steamer. Anyone else got one? Do you recommend? I got mine off of Amazon for like, I don't know, £22, something like that. But I'm like steaming everything. I mean, it's great. Even like, you know, you get a dress out the cupboard, and I keep my shoes in the bottom of my wardrobe. And so sometimes the bottom of the skirt gets a bit creased. Just steam it out. It's like game changer, game changer. In fact, my dad, who is an ironing fanatic, I mean, I don't take after him whatsoever, because for me ironing is a complete chore, but he loves ironing. He's quite interested and he wants to go, so I said, you can have a little go on my steamer, Dad. Anyway, so I steamed this out to the correct measurement, so this is how it will look, and then obviously when I join up, that will be stocking stitch. So yeah, Scotch Broom. Okay, right, that is almost it. I've got one more project. So I am making a pair of socks, and this is a socks. This is a sock. This is a socks. Can't even speak. This is a gift for my lovely dad, who has seen these because he's tried one on, and I am making the Curio Socks by Andrea Mowry. She had a little birthday sale a little while ago, and I really liked this pattern, so yeah, so I've started them, and he's tried this one on. So these are the Curio Socks, and I am using West Yorkshire spinners in Pacific, and this is a Zauber ball. So I have done the heel. I'm not going to put them on a blocker because, quite frankly, if I put them on a blocker, they'll just hang off. They're toe up. I know. Who is this person? Toe-up sock. I've never done a toe-up sock, I don't think. Yeah, don't think I've ever done a toe-up sock. And I enjoyed it, but I don't like the bind off. Now I did a Judy's stretchy bind off because Dad has quite shapely ankles, shall we say. Is that all right, Dad? I don't want to call him chunky because he's not chunky, but you know what I mean. He's got the larger ankle. So I wanted to do a Judy's, is it Judy's stretchy cast off, which I did. And it's fine when it's pulled out, but when it's, yeah, it's just not the most attractive. But as I said, when it's pulled, it's neat, and it's neat enough. So, and I want it to go over his foot. So yeah. So yeah, I am using Pacific in West Yorkshire Spinners, and I am using a Crazy Zauber ball. This one here. With all these lovely colours in it. Mind you, is that a knot? No, but it's an end. Look at that. There's an endy bit. So Crazy Zauber ball, and this is, what's the colour? There's two, so it's 1153 or 2429. Not sure, because my German is pretty awful, I have to say. I did do German as my O-level, GCSE should I say, and it was just GCSE when I did my GCSEs, and I didn't do very well. Languages weren't my thing. So I've started the second one. Yeah, and they're looking really lovely. Really simple pattern. And yeah, so Dad, they will be with you very, very soon. So getting on with those. Do you know, it's come over really dark. It's absolutely throwing it down with rain. So I'm hoping that you can still see me and I'm not just a silhouette in one of those, you know, crime programs like Crime Watch where they silhouette somebody out. Okay, now we're on to spinning. So I'm going to have a quick rearrange and then I'm going to come back. Okay, spinning. I have a finished spin. And I absolutely love this. This for me is every perfect autumn colour. It's blowing out a little bit, but you know, get the idea. And this is from, or this was Fibre from Hilltop Cloud, and it was White Faced Woodland, which I hadn't spun with before. So I used my Ashford Kiwi to spin this up, and I got 136 grams and 125 meters. So it's an Aran weight yarn, but it is just gorgeous. I love those colors. I am going to make something with this. I'm kind of thinking maybe a hat or maybe a cowl, something like that, but I absolutely love it. Really good pleasure to spin. It did really poof up, so I was going for a DK weight, and it just, yeah, it really kind of poofed up quite drastically compared to what it was like. But you know, that's the joy of spinning. Sometimes it throws up a bit of a curveball for you. So I know next time my learning is that actually if I spin with White Faced Woodland again, then I will have to go finer to get the gauge I want, but I will still use this because it's beautiful, it's squidgy, it smells amazing. Hilltop Fibre do the most beautiful yarns, so if you haven't looked at their fibre, then do go over and have a look because they're gorgeous. So yeah, got this. But look at that colour. I am thinking maybe a hat. Yeah. And did I say it would go with my shawl? So that's one spinning project. I have now got a new fibre on my Ashford Kiwi, and I'm using this, which again is Hilltop Cloud, and it is so not that colour. It's a lot darker than that. And I don't know what the content is because I have tucked the label somewhere safe. And I can't remember where that is, but it is darker. It's more like that, but it's definitely got some silk in it. Not sure, it's probably a bit of BFL, don't know, I'm making it up now, just making stuff up. But yeah, I've got that on the bobbin. I've only just started spinning with it, so there's not a lot to show you. So I didn't bother bringing the bobbin up, but next time I will show you my progress on that. But it is beautiful to spin with. So yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. I have also been playing around with some drop spindling. Okay, so this is actually my dad's spindle. So we were over there, Leon, my other half, he was doing some work on my dad's computer for him, and you know, I didn't take any knitting, and I was sitting there thinking, oh, you know, I find it really hard just to sit still and wait for stuff without doing something with my hands. Sorry, I've got fibre up my nose. So I said to him, I said, oh Dad, I said, can I get your Turkish spindle out? He said, yeah, sure. So I've been spinning up some Corriedale. Focus. There you go, on his Turkish spindle. And I absolutely loved this. This is just a Corriedale Humbug that I bought him some time ago. Oh, it's hard to focus on a dark old day. Okay, so it's just, yeah, Corriedale Humbug, and it's beautiful, and I am absolutely loving it. So much so that I thought I wanted to try a Topwell spindle. So I treated myself, so it's kind of an acquisition as well. I treated myself to a Spin City spindle because they are just absolutely beautiful, and my floof has fallen off, so but I will show you the spindle. So it's got these beautiful pressed flowers in it, and on this I am spinning up this Fibre, which is also from Spin City. Oh, look at the sparkle, you can see the sparkles. And this is a Cleopatra, which is a blended roving, and I've written down everything that's in it. So it has Swartballs, soya milk, merino, Corriedale, flax and Angelina. What a lush mix. And this is what it's looking like. How beautiful is that? Again, just screams autumn, doesn't it? But I'm loving this spin. Gorgeous, and love the Topwell. So pros and cons of each. The Turkish spindle for me feels more balanced, and I think that's probably because the cob is at the bottom of the spindle. However, the winding up on this is much easier, because with a Turkish spindle you have to kind of do what they call a turtle to wind it, and I really like just being able to unhook it and just winding it on. So I love them both actually. So yeah, so I'm just plugging away a bit on that, and on my Turkish spindle, or my dad's Turkish spindle. But yeah, really loving this Fibre. This is absolutely beautiful, love it. Okay, now I think that is all my spinning. It is. So the last thing I've got to talk to you about is a couple of not finished objects. We've moved on. A couple of acquisitions, and there's only been one, although I have got an order coming. Yeah, but we won't talk about that because that'll be next month. So I have bought some Ficolana, which is a Peruvian Highland wool, and I've gone for this colour. Again, it is a bit darker than that in real life, but it is beautiful. Oh, focus. There we go. Really struggling with the light today. So yeah, so I bought some Ficolana because I really wanted to try it. It's really soft. I mean, it's woolly, but it's really soft. But I really liked the colour, and I want to make a kind of thick, chunky sweater that's cropped, so that I can wear it with either my high-waisted jeans or over a dress or things like that for the autumn. But it is darker than that. It's more kind of chestnutty than red like that. So yeah, this colour is 832. So yeah, so I've got a couple of ideas, but I haven't decided yet. The Storm sweater is one that I really like, but I would crop it. But there's another one, is it the Eclair pullover by Laura Penrose as well, and also cropping that. So yeah, we shall see. what I make with that. And then Jack went to a yarn show a little while ago up in the northeast. Is it the Northern Yarn Show? I don't know, can't remember, without asking him. But he went up there with Jen and they bought me back a skein of yarn, and they bought me this back. How beautiful is that? Again, really autumnal colours. And this is the Crafty Bird, and it's called the 100 Acre Wood. And I love Winnie the Pooh, and Jack loved Winnie the Pooh as a child, and also Pooh Corner, which is in a place called Hartfield here in the UK, which is where A.A. Milne brain switch on, A.A. Milne lived, and where he wrote Winnie the Pooh. 100 Acre Wood is actually the Ashdown Forest, which isn't very far from where I live. So yeah, you can go there, you can play Pooh Sticks on Pooh Bridge, you can go into Pooh Corner. Yeah, it's just a brilliant place. So thank you both for this beautiful, beautiful yarn. I'm going to put it into something very special. It is just 100% superwash merino cozy, and it's 400 meters for 100 grams. So yeah, so I think, I don't know, some sort of autumny cow, not with this, but with this sort of colour. Sort of, I've got a Beehive Yarns in like a burnt umber, might actually be called burnt umber, and that might be quite nice as a shawl or something. But beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. Right, that is all that I have to talk to you about today. Otherwise, life has been really busy. Term has started again, so for us there's a lot of referrals coming our way, so I'm really busy with that at the moment. And Morris season is back as well, so we've started dancing, ready for next season. And also we've got things like Apple Days coming up, and also Boxing Day, which is a big event for us in Ditchling. So lots of things coming up, so been really busy. But yeah, that is about it from me. I'm not going to talk much more. I hope you're all keeping really well. I'd really like to know what you're knitting on, what you're spinning on. Yeah, any recommendations for patterns for a cropped sort of Aran weight sweater would be greatly appreciated. But that's about it from me. Until next time, take care.